Howdy y'all. Welcome to the very first episode of the Kireth Esports Gran Turismo 7 Drift University. My name is Nader. I'm super excited to be partnering with kirethkart to bring y'all some awesome content from the drift side of Gran Turismo 7. Starting with learning the basics and eventually getting into learning the advanced stuff. Before we get into that though, I'm going to try to teach y'all some fun drills that'll let you get some experience and some good feel for the car and see how a car likes to slide. In order to do that, I thought I'd start y'all off with a nice little drift tune. Just something easy, nothing that's super complicated, super high horsepower. Something that'll give you some nice slide and it'll give you power wherever you need it. And for that, we thought the 2015 Mustang GT would be the best option. I'll show you the tuning sheet here in a second to show you exactly what we upgraded. I chose the 2015 GT though, just because it's a good car to where it's got a good amount of power to where you're not going to be having to focus on finding the power out of the car early on. You can let yourself more focus on finding that feel for the steering and finding the throttle control without worrying about the car dying out. So without further ado, let's get y'all that tune. Let's get out on the skid pad. Feel free to pause here, get yourself a tune, and then we're going to go hit up the skid pad over at Willow Springs. Alrighty, so we're out on the skid pad now, and we're just going to take it nice and slow. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is start driving in a slow little circle. The purpose of this little exercise is to help yourself to start to find the feel of the car. Help yourself start to find the feel of the throttle and the steering. Definitely a lot more throttle on this though, as it's a good little tool to help you see exactly how much throttle you need. So you see I'm playing with seeing how much throttle I need to get the car entered into the drift. Just a quick little slam on the gas and then throw the wheel in, and then you find the sweet spot that'll help you maintain that drift. And you'll see with this that I just start playing down, literally down more towards like a quarter of the way on the throttle, and it'll be more comfortable sliding. That's where it likes to sit. Find what the car wants to do, find the feel for that, and keep practicing. You'll start to find a feel for the car. You'll start to feel comfortable. Like you'll find your donuts getting a little smoother, not as twitchy. You'll realize you don't have to be so aggressive with the car. You'll find naturally the car just wants to slide. It wants to be smooth if you let it. Just kind of find what groove the car wants to take you in, and you'll start to feel like you're in control. Feel like you can drift a little bit. Now, the next thing you can work on, and you can't get a visual here because unfortunately the replay kind of messed the cones up, but what you can do is Willow Springs has a bunch of cones over there. You'll see them right there. You can just go kind of scoot one out to the middle of the track and use it as practice. Try to do some donuts around the cone. You don't have to start tight. You can start pretty wide around it, and then just as you get more comfortable, work to try to bring it as close as you can to the cone and be smooth going all the way around it, inches away, And those are pretty much the two most beginner steps to getting into this that just help you find that feel for the car, like I've been saying. I know I'm repeating it a lot. But the thing is with drifting, it's a really hard thing to teach. You can't teach somebody exactly where to catch a steering wheel or exactly how much throttle input you need at all times. The biggest thing is just encouraging people to find the feel. Every car wants to do something a little bit different. It wants to work a little bit differently. You have to play around and mess around with weird things. Get the car to just start doing a bunch of different funky things, and you learn from that. Every time you mess up, every time you spin out, you learn from that spin out. You're taking in a little bit of information. Alright, now it's time for the next step. What we're going to be doing is basically the same thing, except we're going to be widening out those donuts to pretty much as wide as you can get on the track. Here we're trying to learn more, getting you comfortable with holding that drift in the middle of a corner, This is just going to let you see what it's like to hold a more consistent angle that you'd see in a lot of different turns. So basically how we're going to do this is going to be the same way that you enter the donuts. I want you to start just kind of driving slow and then find the feel on the throttle as to what you need to get you turned in. That's one thing important too that I should probably actually talk about more. Is one thing that you should realize is you don't need to throw the steering wheel as much as you think you probably do. A lot of it is more reliant on the gas and what your throttle input is, because if you just turn the wheel and just a little slightly and give the gas, it'll want to slide on you. It's a drift car. It doesn't want to go straight naturally. Just trust that. Realize that you don't have to be so aggressive. You can be a lot more smooth, be a lot more gentle, and it'll still want to drift. Another fun little wheel spring specific kind of thing is that if you were to go in time trial mode, you can actually find, if you look real closely in this video, when they take out that little barrier in the wall that opens up the skid pad completely, there is just straight in the middle of a big white circle that is absolutely perfect to do this drill around in. And it's perfect just because it helps you give a good, solid visual as to how consistent you're holding your angle. And that's going to be where I call it for this first episode of the Kireth Esports Drift University. Thank you all so much for watching, and just as a little hint of what's to come next episode, I have here for you the figure eights, which will be the first topic. But thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if y'all enjoyed, and I am really looking forward to these upcoming videos with y'all. This is an awesome opportunity I'm so glad to be able to have, and I hope that I am doing it well for y'all. So any opinions, anything y'all would like to hear, shoot down in the comments. I'd love to help y'all out and really get this GT7 drift community start popping.